Yeah, I remember that first week at this new school, being so shy as I was and not knowing anybody. It was really hard for me to make friends. And so I remember, buying my lunch in the line, like not even thinking about the cafeteria, just walking by the cafeteria. And I'd go straight to the bathroom and I'd eat lunch in the bathroom instead. Yeah, it was really a hard year for me, just having to be 14, 15 years old and struggling with that idea of identity again and who I was and where I fit in. I kind of got into a depression a little bit that first year of high school. I was just kind of the quiet kid in the back, always. One day, my sophomore year geometry teacher, Miss Williams, she comes up to my desk and she goes, "Regina, you've got umph." And I was like, umph? She was like, "I have something that'll help you bring that umph out." And it was Summer Search. She showed me this video that Summer Search had put out back then about what kids do and that they can go out on adventures and they can have a mentor and all these things, and it sounded awesome. I got a scholarship through Summer Search to do a 3-week trip out to the North Cascades in the Sawtooth Wilderness. It was a leadership course, so it was supposed to be extra challenging. And, my gosh, by the end of that trip, I thought I was just totally worthless, I felt like, wow, I didn't accomplish anything these past 3 weeks. My 2 instructors, they all had our final check-ins with us on the last day. And they were like, "So what did you think of the trip?" And I just broke down crying. I was just like, I had the worst time. I was the slowest person. I never did anything. I didn't help. I couldn't carry as much as everybody else. And they looked at each other and they just sort of laughed. And they're just like, "Regina, you're the one that kept this group together these past 3 weeks." And I was like, "What?" And they helped me recollect some of the things that I actually did do. I remember one time, the other female on the trip had a pretty big fall down the side of a rocky slope, and hit her head several times. And she was exhibiting symptoms of a concussion and was also panicking. And I wasn't trained in first aid, but I was right there by her side the whole time, tried to help her find, peace in that moment of panic for her. They brought that up at the end of the trip and they said, "Regina, without you, everybody else left. You were the only one that was helping her out." That was kind of cool, to be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I wasn't the strongest person on that trip, but I did bring something. I brought heart. I did feel a lot stronger after that. I felt, more confident about myself and who I was. Started taking more leadership roles. My grades started improving, and I had higher standards for myself after that. In my field group, there is one student whose name was Jose. The first day, the teacher came to me and says, "Jose is a selective mute. He has the ability to speak, but we have not heard him speak since he's been at the school for the last 2 years." And I could kind of see myself in him when I was a kid. I wasn't a selective mute, but I was, shrugged shoulders and didn't like talking to adults or children. But, I made sure he was included, even if he wasn't speaking. He would still be a part of the activities. We went to the garden, we harvested potatoes, and he just loved it. He loved it so much. He was just smiling, pulling out these big potatoes. And then finally, we ended the day by doing a night hike. His teacher happened to be there and was just kind of observing the whole thing. And I wasn't really expecting him to say anything, but I asked him anyways, "What are you grateful for?" And he was quiet for a moment and goes, "I'm just grateful I'm not bored anymore." And his teacher's jaw just dropped, "What?" "I haven't heard you speak in 2 years, and that's the first thing you say." But it was great. And then after that, he was just a sassy kid, and his teachers were amazed. They hadn't seen him speak ever. And it wasn't even that I had talked to him. It was but to see that the opportunities I was giving him, to be outside of the classroom, to, pull a potato out from the ground, to walk in the woods at night, that I was able to provide that opportunity, and it brought him out of that shell on his own. seeing what Summer Search did for me, it just seemed like the right thing to do. And now I'm working as an outdoor instructor with the YMCA, taking kids out into the woods for weeks at a time. What Summer Search has to offer, it's totally invaluable. And I guess that's why I want to do that. I want to give that access to everybody.